Adama, the girl with the mysterious big mouth. Once upon a time, in a small African village, there lived a girl named Adama. She had a mouth that seemed to stretch from ear to ear when she smiled or laughed. Her laughter was infectious, but it also made her the target of ridicule and fear. People would laugh at her for the obvious reasons of the size of her mouth. They also felt a scare. The fear came from uncertainty over what lay behind the strange nature of the mouth she bore. Was it the gods who planted this future on her mouth for the purpose of achieving their aims, or was she even some god in human disguise? This would make people contemplate, dumbfounded and wowed. The other children would mimic her, exaggerating their own smiles and pretending to have mouths as wide as hers. It is said that the purest of innocence come from children. They were only mimicking what they heard from grown-ups and their parents back at home. Well, they trolled Adama to unbearable points. They called her Big Mouth Adama and whispered tales of how she could swallow whole fruit without chewing. They would pass insulting remarks at her, likening her mouth to that of a crocodile that only bites its prey and food but swallow without chewing or masticating. The adults were wary of her. They believed her laughter could summon spirits or bring ill fortune. She could even be some kind of god, some would reason. If all of this portrayed her as powerful or weak, Adama felt isolated. She longed for friends who would not mock or judge her, but accept her for who she was. Unfortunately, this wasn't obtainable in the immediate stance. The fear in their eyes kept them at a distance. She spent her days sitting by the river, watching the water flow, wondering why she was cursed with such a wide mouth. This usually made her sad and threw her into foul moods. She wished she were dead on occasions. She reasoned her passing would rid her of self-consciousness and depression, plus she would not have anxiety problems whenever she was going to meet with someone, inside or outside the village. One day, as Adama sat under a tree, an old woman who appeared to be all-knowing approached her. Her face told stories of wisdom and ancient roots. Her skin was wrinkled like the bark of the tree, and her eyes sparkled with life and substances of living. When she got closer to Adama, Adama started to feel uneasy. Something inside her said this encounter was out of ordinary. The old man sat down next to Adama and said, "Child, your laughter is a gift. It can heal hearts and mend broken souls. Do not be ashamed." Adama listened intently as the old woman shared stories of powerful women with wide smiles, the storytellers, the singers, and the grandmothers who held the village together. She learned that her mouth was a vessel for joy, not a curse. Adama objected respectfully to what the wise old woman said. She said hers was different. Her mouth had been literally extremely big. Plus, Adama was not a storyteller by any means. The woman drew parallels between Adama's mouth and the village women who told tales by the moonlight to kids and the bonfires at night, with the moon kissing their foreheads. Well, since she trusted and almost worshipped the old woman, she agreed to link the narrative she painted, even if reluctantly. Determined to prove her worth, Adama decided to use her laughter for good. She visited the sick, telling them funny tales that eased them their pain. They would have weird feeling of either feeling funny or feeling out at her mouth all at the same time. She served as a catalyst to even natural plants by virtue of this abnormal feature she was endowed with by nature. Whenever she affected a cure on a sick patient or made one's crop blossom to super high yields and all, they would always offer to gift her something as a gesture of appreciation, but she would always refuse it. She never took the payment, If at all necessary, she would accept invitations to the people's house, have a meal or wholesome conversations, and tell them stories with valuable lessons. Over time, the villagers began to see her differently. Their perception of her strange future changed from weird to a blessing. She blessed them with her rather unusually big mouth. One day, during a severe drought, Adama stood in the center of the village square. She raised her arms and her wide mouth opened wide. She laughed, a deep resonant sound that echoed through the parched land. The village were expectant as she went through this ritual process. Well, she summoned and prayed through this strange laughter section, and something supernatural happened. The clouds gathered and rain poured down, quenching the thirsty earth and dusting it off. The villagers watched in awe. They realized that Adama's laughter was a blessing, not a curse. They felt sorry for all they had said, done, or even thought about her previously. They knew they owed her, if not anything, they owed her apologies. They apologized for their mockery and fear, and Adama forgave them. From then on, she was known as Joyful Adama. Her redemption came not from changing herself, but from embracing her uniqueness. She accepted who she was and was unapologetic. Even if she had doubts at any time or another, Adama continued to laugh and her wide mouth became a symbol of hope and resilience. In her older age, people sought her out for advice and children gathered around her to hear her stories. And so, in that African village, the girl with the big mouth grew old into becoming a legend. A reminder that our differences are our strengths and our laughter can heal even the deepest wounds. Dear viewers, the moral of the story is we would be accepted if we first accept ourselves. We must not always all look or think alike. After all, it is said that there is unity in diversity. Let us learn to accept those who look or talk different from us. This includes those who have opinions that differ from ours. Always approach every situation with an open mind, not prejudging anyone or situation. Never say never. Thank you for viewing our video. Kindly share with your friends and family members. Invite them to come and subscribe our videos as well. Always remember it is free.